In an unprecedented and almost unbelievable political comeback, Donald Trump has clinched victory in the presidential election against Kamala Harris. Just a moment ago, Trump won Wisconsin, crossing the 270 mark in the Electoral College and securing a second term. It would make Trump the first American president to serve two non-consecutive terms since Grover Cleveland in 1892. Harris's defeat marks the second instance in the last 8 years when a woman fell short of victory in the presidential race. The race between Trump and Harris was fiercely contested, with pre-election polls indicating a tight contest in the critical swing states. Experts and news anchors had prepared the US for a prolonged vote count, anticipating a lengthy and uncertain process. However, as the results rolled in on election day, Trump quickly began to pull ahead, reminding everyone of his 2016 victory, despite the controversy surrounding his post-presidency years. Trump's comeback was largely fueled by his strong performance in several key battleground states, which had been crucial to the Democrats' path to victory in 2020. Trump managed to retain North Carolina while flipping back Pennsylvania and Georgia, states that had turned blue in the last election, but were now back in Trump's column. As the night wore on, Trump appeared in command, establishing leads in Michigan and Wisconsin, the two states which, along with Pennsylvania, were central to the blue wall that had been instrumental in the Democrats' success in 2020. With Trump going from strength to strength, the Harris campaign, which had heavily relied on winning these blue wall states, began to falter. This marks a dramatic shift from the previous election when Joe Biden flipped Pennsylvania, Michigan and Wisconsin back to the Democratic column. Harris, however, was unable to replicate Biden's success. The loss of the blue wall, the three states, once thought to be a firewall for Democratic control, was a major blow, and by the time North Carolina was officially called for Trump, Harris supporters had grown increasingly silent. The mood at her watch party in Washington, D.C. turned quiet, in sharp contrast to the earlier excitement of the evening. Trump's victory speech in West Palm Beach, Florida, was full of confidence and optimism. In his address, he promised to usher in a golden age of America, emphasizing that his mandate was clear. Trump declared victory, positioning himself as the leader who would restore prosperity and safety to the United States. In addition to the Trump's presidential win, the Republican Party saw significant gains in the Congress. The Grand Old Party appeared to have secured control of the Senate, picking up an open seat in West Virginia and defeating prominent Democrats like Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown. These victories further solidified the party's momentum, offering Trump a pretty solid foundation for his policy agenda as president. For the Democratic Party, the results were deeply disappointing. Despite running a campaign that was centered on defending abortion rights, protecting democracy, and promoting diversity, Harris struggled to connect with voters on key issues. Exit polls revealed that economic concerns, safety, and the overall direction of the country were far more important to most voters than the issues the Harris campaign had prioritized. While abortion rights remained a popular issue, only 14% of exit poll respondents identified it as their top concern. More than 75% of Americans expressed frustration and anger with the country's direction, signaling widespread dissatisfaction with the current administration. Many analysts pointed to Harris's inability to distance herself from the controversial policies of the Biden administration as a key factor in her defeat. In hindsight, some observers suggested that a more robust Democratic primary contest, perhaps with Biden stepping aside after his party's very strong midterm performance in 2022, could have resulted in a more compelling contest or probably a different candidate. Additionally, Harris' loss of support among Hispanic and black male voters, combined with her failure to increase turnout among white women, weakened her standing in key swing states. the Democratic Party's messaging on issues like Gaza also alienated some of their traditional base, particularly Arab and Muslim Americans who had historically supported the Democratic Party but now felt betrayed by its stance. Many young voters also stayed away from voting. Trump's victory not only signifies a personal political comeback, but also a broader repudiation of the direction many voters felt the US had taken under the Biden administration. With his win, Trump is poised to return to the White House with a stronger mandate, a Republican controlled Senate, and the backing of a divided nation, as shown by the overall margin of his victory. He is even leading in the popular vote count. But Trump faces the challenge of unifying a deeply fractured country while fulfilling the promises he made during his campaign. For Democrats, the aftermath of this loss will likely prompt an intense period of self-reflection as they search for answers to why their coalition failed to hold together and what, if anything, they can do to reclaim the popular mandate.